So let's get started without any further ado. Before we do so, a quick formal introduction on my end. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I will be your cybersecurity trainer from Durgasok for the entire duration of this course. Again, I've had an experience of 7+ years in this domain. Again, I've worked as an ethical hacker, as a web application penetration tester, and currently also working as a SOC analyst, security operations center analyst. Okay. And I've been training students since the last 5 years, though. And again, I've trained in multiple institutes. This is one of them. I trained for a few institutes in Bangalore as well. Okay, the same trainer in a couple of different institutes again. And yeah, the demo that we're going to take today is on a course called Certified Ethical Hacking version 13 from the organization EC Council, one of the most well-recognized organizations based in United States itself, specifically for getting certified or learning concepts in cybersecurity. Okay. Now, before we progress further, a small question. Has anyone attended the workshop yesterday, guys? We took a workshop yesterday at 10 o'clock. I actually took the same session, the certified ethical hacking demo itself. Are there anyone who are joining the session today after attending yesterday as well? Because this is going to be the same session, guys, because I have a list of new students today. So I will have to repeat this one session today. Has anyone joined the workshop yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning?
No.
Oh, okay, perfect then. Perfect. So yeah, let's progress further. Now we'll start this demo course with the definitions of what hacking and ethical hacking are. Because a lot of students have misconception that these are one and the same. Okay. But let me clarify those with the definitions of each of these terms. Now, when you talk about hacking, guys, this is specifically the process of trying to gain access to information systems. Now, these information systems could be anything. They could be as small as a mobile phone to your computer laptop or a web application server or a database containing the data of millions of users. Okay. So hacking is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems without the permission and the knowledge of the organization or the person owning those systems. So let's say if I hack your phone, it basically means I've got complete control of your phone and the data on it without your permission and without your knowledge. So once I've gotten that access, I can steal your data, I can destroy or completely delete that data from your phone, or I can sell your data to other third party people or third party vendors on the internet, okay, or on the dark web as well. Okay. And all of these operations are usually performed by hackers for their own benefit. Okay. And again, sometimes hackers are so mischievous, they can even do it just for fun, just for the sake of it, and without even any personal benefit out of it. Okay. Now, if hacking is such a malicious task, if it is such an illegal activity, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? And how is this getting ethical in the first place? Ethical is something which is legal, which is allowed. How is hacking again becoming legal or becoming allowed? Okay. So when you talk about ethical hacking, on the other hand, this is the procedure of finding vulnerabilities. So this terminology called vulnerability is something that will keep coming across throughout the course, guys. To define it, it's a loophole, it's a flaw or a weakness in the security of your information systems. So your job as an ethical hacker is to find these vulnerabilities in the information systems in the organization. Okay. Now, why do we need to find these? Because these are what hackers look for as well. They try to find the vulnerabilities and they try to take advantage of those vulnerabilities or exploit them to perform attacks or cyber threats. So your job in ethical hacking is to find these vulnerabilities in the information systems before the hackers do. And this is done with the consent and with the knowledge of the organization. So you do not work behind the scenes or anything. You work hand in hand with the organization. And once you find the vulnerabilities, you report it back. Once the vulnerabilities are reported back, the company can apply the necessary security updates, also commonly known as the security patches. Okay. And once these patches have been applied, there is no other chance of any hacker exploiting those vulnerabilities or performing any cyber threats. So your job as an ethical hacker is to protect your organization from these cyber criminals by finding the vulnerabilities, reporting them, and remediating them or patching them up. Okay. Now, depending on these two simple definitions here, we can categorize the types of hackers, guys. You already know two categories, white hat and black hat. Okay. And there's one more third category called gray hat. Now, your black hat criminals or black hat hackers are basically cyber criminals itself. These are people who perform hacking for their own benefit or for fun without asking for consent. On the other end of the spectrum, we have white hat hackers, cybersecurity professionals, or ethical hackers who abide by the laws and policies of the organization and work for securing the organization's infrastructure from these cyber threats. Okay. And in between, there's a third mysterious category called gray hat hackers. Now, these are people who have both the qualities of a black hat hacker as well as a white hat hacker. So, like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission first. Okay. But once they do find the vulnerability, like a white hat hacker, they report it back to the company. Okay. But there's a minor catch here. They don't do it for free. They do it in return for a bounty. A bounty is like a financial reward they expect in return for finding the vulnerability and reporting it to the company without misusing it. Okay, so therefore these grey hat hackers are also commonly known as bug bounty hunters. They hunt for bugs or vulnerabilities in systems for a bounty in return, a reward in return. So they're hunting for bugs and in return for bounties. Hence the name bug bounty hunters. Okay. Now, no matter what category of a hacker you take, your cyber criminals or your ethical hackers or your bug bounty hunters, respectively, all of these perform hacking or ethical hacking in a professional manner. They follow a certain framework. Okay, and this framework gives almost, I would say, 80 to 100% of success rate. Okay. And again, this is a framework which has been developed by the US military itself by an organization called Lockheed Martin. And this framework is called Cyber Kill Chain. And your course, Certified Ethical Hacking by EC Council, focuses on the same exact framework. Okay, so this framework, sometimes referred to as cyber kill chain or sometimes as hacking cycle, is the procedure that is followed by hackers in order to perform a successful cyber attack. And the same procedure also allows cybersecurity professionals to understand how these attacks are being performed, to detect these attacks at every stage in the organization, and to prevent them at every level. Okay, so this again whole entire framework of cyber kill chain explains how do you attack these systems and also how do you defend these systems from various types of attacks at various stages of that attack. Okay, in any organization on any sort of a device. That's what cyber kill chain is. And our entire course of certified ethical hacking is going to revolve around these steps that are involved in cyber kill chain. Okay. And there are five important steps to this, guys. Before we get into this, any questions or doubts up to this point? Anyone? Am I going too fast? Am I too slow? Is the audio fine? Any issues with the meeting? Avinash, Fatima, Swaroop, Santosh.
Fine,
Uh,
sir.
all good. Okay, guys. Shivasankar. Okay. Excuse me. Right. So again, as mentioned, so this cyber kill chain or hacking cycle, audio not clear. Let me check my audio settings. Hello, one, two, three. Hello. Seems to be fine from my end, Santosh. Others, can you hear me? Am I audible fine? Swaroop,
Yes, sir.
Saho,
Clear.
Avinash.
We are feeling a bit on the so that's the reason maybe.
Sorry, Saho, I can't hear you. Your voice is very low.
No, we feel your voice is bit cracked. Cracked in the sense I feel you are not well.
Oh yeah, I have a bit of a sore throat. But I hope I'm clear though. I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
I'm
clear.
hacking. Okay, let me just get some water. Just give me 1 minute, guys. I'll just get some water. Okay. Some of the auditor and but let's see. If there's any, please do let me know. Really not able, or if I'm not able to make out what I said, then I'll try to change this also accordingly. So yeah, the hacking cycle part as mentioned. So this hacking consists of 5 important steps in it. First step is called information. Oh, 1 second, let me change this. So first step is information gather. Second step is scanning. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. Last step is reporting of cases. These are the same steps that are involved in hacking cycle or cycle chain that follow every single organization. This framework consists of these 5 steps itself. And again, if you know, if you notice only in the last step, I have 2 different terminologies, reporting or clearing traces. What I want to indicate by that is no matter what kind of hacking you perform, whether it be your again ethical hackers, penetration testing or cyber criminals, cyber threats, the procedure is exactly the same. What changes only the last step. So whether the white hat hackers, grey hat hackers, or black hat hackers, first 4 steps are exactly identical. There's no change in the procedure in the first 4 steps. What varies is only the last step. If you are a white hat hacker or a grey hat hacker, you report the vulnerabilities back to the organization. That is reported. Okay. And if you're a black hat, on the other hand, you don't report anything back to the organization, you hide of your actions. You try to remove the evidence, you try to delete the logs, etc. Operations are commonly called as clearing traces. Okay. So no matter what the procedure is, whether it be by cyber criminals or whether they are hackers or any, the first procedure involves the same 5 steps. Okay. And our entire course is going to revolve around these 5 steps. And today I will be explaining each of these steps one by one briefly, and just giving you an intro on each of these steps so you have a better idea about the entire course. Okay. So the first thing we have here is information gathering. Some organizations also refer to this as a reconnaissance or footprinting, guys. And the objective here is to gather as much information as possible about the organization. And an important point to note here is all of this information is obtained passively. What I mean by passively is you do not call the organization and you obtain all of this information from third-party sources, from some special websites on the internet, which act gold mines of data. So if you know those, if you just know what you can perform information gathering and figure out what you need to opt as an ethical hacker or a cyber criminal. And again, figuring out again, if I had to give you an example of what pieces of data we would try to gather, this is a small list. So we try to get the IP addresses, the network blocks, the host records, the DNS records, domains or subdomains, OS information, employee details, contact numbers, email addresses, okay, or usernames and passwords of the employees. So this is a very small example of what data we try to. It's much more comprehensive this when we get into course. Okay. But just to give you an intro of what data do we try to obtain in information gathering. And believe it or not, all of this information is readily available on the internet. All you need to know is what those websites are from where you can get this information. If I show you a small practical thing, I mean, let's say if I wanted to get the DNS records of any organization, I can just go to my browser here. And in my browser, I can search for a website called DNS Dumpster. DNS Dumpster.